Hi everybody, how are you? I hope you're having an excellent day. This is Behind the Tragedy. I am Vanessa Uribe, former pilot of Air Force. I am so happy to be in this podcast with these beautiful people.
Hi, my name is Mara Gonzalez. As a reporter, talking about these cases is very interesting to me, since this is what my work is about. And being here with these people who are interested in this as much as I am is fascinating and exciting.
Hi everyone, my name is Natalia. I am an ex-detective. A while ago, I left my job to chase the cases behind red lines. Since then, I've always been chasing the truth, and today I'm here with my folks to finally be able to solve some of these cases.
Good morning to all you. I am very happy to be here. My name is Jenny Smith. I am a scientist working with this kind of mystery in Idaho for 4 years. I am so excited that we're going to talk today.
In our podcast, we are going to talk about mystery cases that have been solved and others that have not.
So, what kind of things we're going to talk today?
Today we're reaching a very special topic, specifically because its anniversary passed not too long ago. One of the biggest unsolved cases of all times, the Sewol ferry disaster from Korea.
I lost my mind in the city of night, and the bad street burns in the neon light. When I heard the thunder, I could feel the rain. It's the same to me, just different name. Won't you follow me into the jungle? Ain't no guide for my streets in the heart of the jungle. Won't you follow me into the jungle? Into the jungle.
Case number one, the Sewol Ferry.
The second
Case
occurred on April 16, 2014, about 2 kilometers from the island of Pong, in Korea. It was threatening
476.
people from the Mingyun to city. The turtle sent on the emergency message when it was about 3 hours from the destination. Of the total passengers
330.
were high school students in Ansan, western of the suburb. The touring from a ship to a spa community by the day teachers.
some 280 people remain missing as April 17, despite the fact that 169 ships and 29 aircraft were deployed in the area in search of sunken bodies. The South Korean Army collaborated with 26 ships, 3 aircraft, and 274 Special Forces personnel who worked with the Coast Guard in rescue and recovery tasks.
So obviously a case like this called for investigation. Enter us. According to the prosecutor in charge of the investigation, the third officer was at the helm when the ship was wrecked off the coast of South Korea. The captain would not have even been on the bridge. On April 17, the South Korean prosecutor's office issued an arrest warrant for the captain, Lee Jun-seok, of age 69, the third officer, and another member of the crew for allegedly abandoning the ship without even guaranteeing the safety of the passengers, meaning that they left even without telling the young students that the ship was sinking, leaving them to their own devices.
The investigation with the last 5 months reveals that every ferry was carrying a load of 3,608 tons. You can imagine that kind of number? 3 tons in the maximum weight allowed. It was also discovered that several under illegal modification to increase the cargo is a capacity to upgrade the stability of the ferry. In addition, when the ship was navigated in a narrow channel near to the giant island and made a sharp of 15-degree turn after it was lurched and capsized. Can you imagine that it can happen with this?
And did you know that in the rescue on April 20, it was learned that at least 10 bodies has been rescued from inside the ship and that the death toll increased to 46. Later, as the drivers continued to recovery tasks with the ship, The death toll reached 58. In addition, it was learned that rescue team operator died who received a blow to the head during rescue work.
So in April 22, the list of the carrier was expanded to 121, as the weather and the sea conditions improving waters in the southwest of the country. The drivers managed to start
29.
29 new waters from the side of the ship. Well, by 181 passengers until water missing has only 1,064 made it to safety.
But on the other hand, the shipping company that operated the ship closed its website and instead published a statement in which it apologized to victims and their families. We protested ourselves before the families of the victim and asked for forgiveness. Can you believe this?
Honestly, it's unbelievable. Obviously, the captain and the two other crew members were detained and accused of abandoning the ship without concern or safety of the passengers, and their conduct was described by South Korean President Park Geun-hye as a kind of act of murder that cannot and should not be tolerated. Obviously, as we all know, it is the duty of the captain of a ship to stay and die with the ship if it means that all the other passengers come out safe.
On the same day, South Korean President Park Geun-hye, who was government, received a strong criticism of his handling on the accident, promising to find all the irregularities surrounding the seawall and to the forces to the responsible as some criminals and civil responsibilities, which put a part of the eyes of the shipping company. So people can be so mean with this kind with the Korean thing. So we don't know what is going to happen in the next future.
Apparently, the sub was removed 2 years ago to increase this capacity. Over 100 when the vehicles and the cargo side moved to one side after a capture, which in the side of beginning study did not rule out that it's sort of apprehensive some type of security defenses.
So now with these people, they want to make what Jeremy and Marian also announced in the recent days, the suspension of the three shipping routes and all passing the same part of the west of Seoul, from the which sea will deported on Tuesday night for Jeju Island. So it really was kind of be disappear, and all the people was looking at it. So what is going to happen now?
On April 23, the North Korean government expressed its condolences to the families of those killed in the accident. By April 25, the number of confirmed deaths from the shipwreck increased to 183. Even Barack Obama, the President of the United States, during a visit on South Korea, expressed solidarity with the families of the victims.
On April 27th, South Korean Prime Minister Jung Won-won announced his hesitation due to the disaster.
Which, honestly, if I was him, I would have done the same. Talking about the ferry captain Lee Jun-suk, he was charged with manslaughter and arrested on May 8. Finally, on November 11th, a court in Wonju, southwestern South Korea, found the captain guilty of negligence to abandon the passengers on board the ship and was sentenced to 36 years in jail. The judge refrained from finding Lee guilty of murder, saving the captain from the maximum penalty. Prosecutors have requested the death penalty in the event he was convicted of murder, a situation that was supported by a large part of the victim's relatives. On my honest personal opinion, both as a person and an investigator, I think that he should have been charged with murder. This is the death of not only young high school students, but also hundreds of people that entrusted their lives onto this captain who proceeded to just leave them to die.
I agree with you, Natalia. I think this is something horrible that is happening with all these people. Talking about my professional opinion too, I think it was something planned about the politics in the government.
Also, can we just talk about the fact that the president and most importantly, the rescue team was not mobilized when the ship sunk? Because as this information tells, the ships gave out an alert signal for help, but the help never did arrive until hours later. So, what happened?
And government politics and all these things. It's like they don't care about the people and try to save it.
I agree with Yanis, honestly.
And also, at least the victims, or at least the families of the victims, are going to find some peace soon because the new president of South Korea has said, or more importantly, has promised that he will conduct an even more in depth investigation and might even give more time in jail to the manslaughter in this case, which would be the captain of the ship, which I completely agree on. He should be the first one to go down, considering he's the captain.
Anyways, like my mom say, don't have childrens.
I agree with that. Don't have children, they might become the captain of this ship. Okay, that's a little bit morbid. On to the second case.
Our case number two is the death of Jenny Rivera. Well, on December 9, 2012, shortly after finishing a concert in the Monterrey Arena in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Jenny Rivera and six other companies took off from the Monterrey International Airport around 3 a.m. to return to Mexico City. Since Jenny Rivera had to be present that day on the broadcast of the reality show that she was in, La Voz Mexico, of which she was part of one of the judges.
The brother of Private Rivera model, which he will land in the Adolfo Lopez Mateos International Airport in the Mexico capital of Toluca. His arrival was expected about around 4:30. However, a few minutes after takeoff, the riders lost the contact with the plane. At the 6 a.m., a search of the rescue protocol was started to the near of the last place known to have flown over the aircraft.
So, in afternoon of the same day, civil protection authorities report that the plane had crashed in the Sierra Madre Oriental in the municipality of Iturbide in Nuevo León, Mexico.
Later in the official statement, the Ministry of Communication and Transportation indicated that the characteristics of the crashed aircraft correspond to those of the plane in which Singer was traveling, which it was confirming her death, and that is about her companions on the ship in Rivera were Arturo Rivera Ruiz, who has the political relations, and also the pilots Miguel Perez Soto and Alexandra Torres Alvarez, later of Mario Mancias Pacheco, makeup artist Jacob Gevalde, and hairdresser Jose Armando Sanchez.
So, obviously, in December 2014, although the investigation was made, Mexican authorities closed the investigation into what happened to the plane. The general director of civil aeronautics, Gilberto Lopez Meyer, stated that the results of the plane crash could not be conclusive and that they had not been able to determine the exact cause of the accident. Losses affecting the owners of the plane, Rivera's estate, and the relatives of those on board with Rivera have been filed in the state and federal courts in the United States. Basically, although many believe that this was not true, Mexican authorities just said that they were not able to find what was wrong with the crash. Though many may think that it would be easy to tell because the plane crash was from such a high altitude, most of it was destroyed upon impact. Still, it became very suspicious after the news came out.
We can see the impact that her death had because the story of Rivera's disappointment and the death appeared on Telemundo and Univision, the major Spanish language television networks in the United States, as well as CNC and New York Times. Shortly after his death, the in Spanish Republic of Nigeria becomes more well international, and his name trending on Twitter around the world.
Hey everybody, so what do you think it really happened with Virginia Rivera?
I
I
mean,
think it was her husband.
it's not like Jenny Rivera was short on enemies. Like, it's not like she was a mafia boss, but she had her outspoken opinions. She had her story, which she wasn't willing to shut up about, which I respect. And you could argue that it could be due to, inheritance. It could be due to old grudges. We can't really know, considering the investigation just didn't come out with anything.
Well, I have two theories. I had number one, um, that she's not dead. She's might be hiding from things about the mafia and all that stuff. Because I was reading that thing that she have a channel in YouTube that she makes that she's cooking in her voice, and later in that part of the video, well, right there, yeah, um, Chicky Rivera right there in that part of the video. So that's weird. And the second theory that I have, when somebody famous it died, they have the theory that he's still alive. With Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, they still, Juan Gabriel, they can be alive, but they might be dead. So it's happened all the time when somebody's dead. They make a rumor or something that he's still alive and he's hiding for the fame.
Okay, yo, but like, if she was alive and eating mariscos in the coast in TikTok, why would she still fake her death? Like, even if it gave her somewhat fame, it's not like her legacy. Her legacy is still alive, but wouldn't
Yes,
it
it
be
is.
counterproductive? Like,
I
to
don't
live
know.
your life in hiding for money?
I don't know because they say she was like with something related with mafia, but it's a lot of rumors that they make with her death. So it's something weird. They're going to steal like a mystery case right
But I think it was a death which hurt us all.
now. Mysteries, mysteries, people that's still alive.
Okay, guys, this was Mr. Dragons. Thanks for listening. Have a good night.
Bye.
Goodbye, y'all.
It was
So the
amazing
deer
having to
dead out of
you.
nowhere.